What's up, everybody? I am back. This is your girl QY with being Mary Jane, season 1, episode 2. I haven't not seen y'all since I think Tuesday. I've been out of town since Thursday. I am just now getting back this morning. Still catching up on some rest, but I had an amazing time, y'all. It was good. I literally needed that. So I am back. I know I was supposed to bring y'all being Mary Jane and Raising Canaan, and y'all have all of that, as well as Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. Anyway, before we start, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button, and so you can be updated on every video that I drop, y'all. Okay. So here we go. Season 1, episode 2 of being Mary Jane, Storm Advisory. So y'all, the episode starts with Mary Jane getting out of her car. She breaks into Lisa's house. She found out that Lisa overdosed on some meds. We see Mary Jane, cleaning Lisa's house. She goes into Lisa's room. She watched her sleep for a little while. Again, martyr. Everybody's martyr. The next morning, Lisa comes down to the kitchen, and we find out that Lisa deals with depression. And if you don't remember who Lisa is the doctor, the one who checked Niecy out, which is Mary Jane's best friend. So Mary Jane tells her she was getting ready to go to work, and so she tells Lisa, like, I know you're not going to work today. And Lisa was like, well, I'll just focus on other people's problems rather than focus on my own. I was like, I get it. So Mary Jane arrives at home. David is still there. Y'all know he came over the night before with chips and dip and consensual smicks. Okay. And he hugs her. He asks, how was Lisa doing? She said that the paramedic said that she tried to knock herself out with a couple pills. David tells Mary Jane that Lisa needs help. And as Mary Jane always being a resident martyr, she says she has help. David tells Mary Jane she needs professional help, like a psychiatrist. And so Mary Jane just thinks Lisa is lonely. And again, David and Mary Jane and Lisa, they all know each other. Like they've been knowing each other for years. So David and Mary Jane are talking. So he see a car pull up, and of course it's Andre trying to get inside the house. Now he's trying to get inside Mary Jane's house. He knows the apartment number, so he pull up, punches the code, and then David is looking like, what's going on? And Mary Jane was like, so he goes outside. He was like, I'm gonna go check it out. She was like, cool. So of course she hiding, watching to see what's happening. So David goes outside. He tells Andre, he was like, is there something I can help you with? And Andre was like, I was just pulling over to send a text. David said, I saw you trying to punch the code. Andre said, I guess it was the wrong address. So while all of this is happening, MJ is peeking out of the window. Like, David ain't your man, so I don't understand. Like, he has his own set of friends, and so do you. So anyway, I just want to point out how fine David and Andre, like, whew. Anyway, so Andre gets in his car and leave. I was like, oh my God. So David walks in the door just as casual as he want to be, and he was like, playing it cool. He said, I guess it was just the wrong door. And she was like, oh, okay. And so then he tells her, hey, I have tickets to go to an event. Do you want to come? And so she was like, so is this like an invite? Like, I have tickets, you can just come on, or is this like a date? So we do see that she's trying to pull more out of David than what he's really willing to give. He doesn't want to be monogamous, and that is okay. But I don't know, she just... Anyway, so her phone rings, and of course it's her mom. And, her mom's on the phone complaining again. And at this point, y'all, her mama get on my nerves. Like, I know she's a sickly older woman, a little lonely or whatever, but she get on my nerves. So Mary Jane was like, I'm going to call you back, and hang up. So as she gets up, get ready for work. David leaves. She get up, get ready for work. All the things work out or whatever. She out in the next scene, she comes out of the coffee shop because she's actually on her way to work. And we see Andre standing outside of her car. And he want to know if her and David got back together. And I was like, you got a whole wife. You have some nerve, but, I'm not even going to hold y'all. And so she was like, move out of my way. And so her phone rings and he was like, is that him? And I'm just like, wait a minute, sir. You have no right. Like, you literally have no right. So, it is what it is. So she gets in her car and leaves. Because at this point, she was mad. She was really upset, and I get it. So in the next scene, she gets to the office, and there is a guy that works there named Lance. He tells Mary Jane that I want to introduce you to your number one fan. And of course, it's Avery that shows up. Avery is Andre's wife. And so she was like, okay, you can, she tells him, okay, you don't have to babysit us. We kind of got it. But nobody knows that Mary Jane told Avery that she was sleeping with her husband. So Avery sits down and Avery was like, you made your speech the other day, so let me make mine. And so Avery starts to ask a series of questions. So Avery asks Mary Jane, have you seen my husband since you confronted me in the pet store? And Mary Jane said, no, I haven't. She pulls out her phone and she tells Mary Jane that the number of times that Andre has called her. Now, we know she hasn't been answering any of the calls, but we see where Andre kept calling her and she kept declining the call. So Avery wanted to have a conversation with Mary Jane based on the truth. And Mary Jane tells her the truth. She don't have nothing to hide or lie about, because at the end of the day, he lied to her. So Avery tells Mary Jane, listen, I know I said I wanted to keep him, but I thought about it, and I went away for the weekend, and she wanted to know, like, I'm sitting here thinking on my weekend getaway, what am I up against? So Avery asks, has she ever been cheated on? Mary Jane says yes. Avery says, how long ago did you meet? She said 4 months ago. She said, and do you always? And Mary Jane says every time. And she asks Mary Jane, are those your real boobs? Mary Jane says yes. And she asks, does he go down below on her? And she was like, it's a requirement. It's called reciprocity. Now, at this point, I felt like Mary Jane was trying to be like a little asshole, but you don't get to be the asshole. You mess with this lady's husband. Even though you didn't know, you still don't get to be the asshole. So anyway, she asked Mary Jane, does he ever take you out? She says yes. So she asked Mary Jane, what kind of things do you guys do? She said movies, marketing events, late dinners, gym. And so that's when Avery says, is that where you guys met? Mary Jane tell her yes. And so she asked Mary Jane, have you ever met my kids? Have you met his family, his friends? Mary Jane says no. So she asks, is there talk about wanting a family with you? And she says no, they never really talked about the future. And so Avery asks, does he love you? And Mary Jane tells Avery that he said he does, but he only said it once. And Avery said, why wouldn't he? You're good at what you do. And that was, to me, that was an intense conversation. I bet if I was Avery, that would have been like a hard conversation. But she wanted to know. Anyway, so she leaves. MJ phone ring and it's her mom. And her mom immediately says, you forgot about me. And her mom has lupus, and she's rambling about Mary Jane forgetting about her. And I get it, but she's very annoying. Like, I probably need to figure out the grace in her mom and Suge Avery. I'm gonna stop calling her Suge Avery. But I'm gonna have to find a grace in that, but right now I just can't. Okay. So In the next scene, Mary Jane covers a story on a couple in Fort Lauderdale. They are covering the hurricane story. She has to cancel her date. Of course, the network management comes and say, you need, whatever y'all have going on tonight, you need to cancel it. So she has to cancel her date, and Kara has to cancel going to her son's recital. So Mary Jane is asking, why are the couple still in the house? Now, she's sitting there before they go live, and she's asking the right questions. But this what pisses me off about Kara, because she doesn't give a damn about nothing but the story. So she was like, why are the couple in the house? Why is the National Guard there? So she was like, I don't want to watch nobody die. And she asked MJ, this was before a break, and then they come back on. And so she tells Mary Jane in her ear, keep talking. She says, if you try to sign off, I won't allow you. See, these boundaries. This is the thing that I'm talking about. In the midst of all of that, this is where the stupidity of people who typically stay in those type of situations. Like, if you don't have it, that's one thing. But if you really have it and you know that it's going to be bad, you'd rather be safe than sorry just because it didn't happen. And the only reason why I'm familiar with that is because being from New Orleans, we always stayed home for a hurricane. And it just so happened, like y'all, when Katrina happened, a lot of people decided to get up and go. A lot of people could not leave, and I understood that. It was a lot of casualties. And if you have the resources, if you have those things to get up and go, I just think that you should be able to get up and go. You want to be safe rather than to be sorry. It is okay. You live to fight another day. It's just all traumatic. Like, you really think about that type of stuff. You think about the people who could not. And even if you didn't want to, somebody who couldn't, for the sake of that, just kind of be like, you know what, we can't, I know y'all don't want to go anywhere, or they may have people that want to go, but, for the sake, just be like, okay, we all need to just leave. Let's just put our heads together or whatever. We'll just go. I don't know, but just make it work. Okay, I don't know why I'm rambling. I just know that, leaving New Orleans like a couple days before Katrina was a lot. And it was a lot for the people who stayed. It was a lot for the people who actually left. And then to be able to look at things on TV and have people tell you cannot go back home. You can't go back home because your entire city is underwater. That's a lot. Okay. So anyway, it just was crazy on this couple's end. So Kara gets excited. They lose the camera due to the feed of the storm. Prior to that, the lady who they sent down there to talk to the couple, she was like, I'm leaving. So Kara was trying to get her to stay in a natural disaster. And this is what I don't like about Kara, because she's by any means necessary. She don't give a damn who it hurt and who it affect, as long as she get what she need. That is what pisses me off about Kara. She don't give a damn. So anyway, after Mary Jane, after the cameras go off, no. After she talked to the couple, we see they point the camera to Kara. Kara gets excited, but they lost the camera feed due to the storm. Mary Jane at this point is visibly pissed. Because Kara she doesn't care. She's visibly pissed. So, her and her boss, I'm sorry, y'all, my nose itching. So her and her boss kind of have this small celebratory thing, and I feel like that's ignorant as fuck, because you don't know. Oops, I did say I wasn't going. I'm sorry, y'all. That's ignorant because you don't know whether these people are alive or they're unalive. Okay. So in the next scene, Mark and Kara goes to the boss's office, and now he wants Kara to consult on Mark's, do some consulting on Mark's show. Now, we know that Kara does not like Mark. Mark is Mary Jane's best friend. Those two don't like each other for whatever reason. And I'm pretty sure the reason Mark don't like Kara is probably a valid reason. So, Mary Jane calls David to hang out. Earlier she canceled plans because she had to stay at work. So now she's ready, she's able to go. So she calls David to hang out, and he said he made plans with someone else. So she's pissed. She hangs up the phone. Then she calls him right back and asks if he's sleeping with other women. He said he does occasionally. David doesn't commit, my opinion. And Andre is a married man who's trying to commit to another woman, which is impossible. Okay? So, in the next scene, she goes to the gym to work out. She's on a treadmill, and she see Andre comes in, and she takes her stuff and leave. And then he follows her to the shower. I was like, I know people saw them. Like, the way the shower scene was set up, I'm like, y'all ain't, all the people that was in the gym, y'all ain't seen none of that. Anyway, so she tells him, I broke one of my rules for you. I was getting excited about the thought of us, and it turns out that basically you're married. You lied to me. And so she was like, give me your phone and give me the password to your phone. So apparently his password is Mary Jane's address. And so he was like, well, what do you need my phone for? And she was like, I'm going to delete all the pictures. So she sent pictures, videos. She's really invested into Andre. And she was like, I'm going to delete all of that. And so she looks at a picture and she tells him, you have a beautiful family. And then she starts to cry. He apologizes to her and proceed to kiss on her, yada, yada, yada. Y'all know, paint the picture. She asks why. She just kept asking why. And while she was asking why, okay. And so she started crying, and he looked like he was crying. And this is where the episode ended. Okay. This was a lot. Okay. I will come back with Raising Kanan. And then later on today, expect, what is it? Oh, Married to Medicine Reunion Part 1 and Housewives of Atlanta. And then we're going to talk about them taglines because, girl. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to like up my videos on y'all way out. Of course, it keeps me in the algorithm. And once again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video that I drop. All right. Y'all have a good one. Bye.